I want to start this episode by paying my respects. They may not have been in my life for very long, but they've been a massive part of helping me grow the channel and create better content. They will be sorely missed, but they will go on to help with other projects. I'd like to join me in a moment's silence to pay our respects. Right, enough of that. Let's get on stripping. Sorry, Paul. What is happening? So, welcome back. In the last episode, we got this bike pretty much stripped down to mostly where we need it. Now, we are going to be removing the majority of the wiring loom from this, and I'm about to place the order for all of the Moto Gadget Mo unit blue that I'm going to be using, which is a Bluetooth controlled electric system for the bike, which means you don't need relays or fuses or anything. It's all built in one. It's an absolutely awesome little bit of kit, and I'll explain a little bit more about that when it turns up. What we're going to be doing in this episode is hopefully getting these front forks off this bike so we can test them on the XV, because there's a chance they'll work, but there's also a good chance that they're not going to work because the length of the head tube might be different. Now, if it is different, it isn't a problem. I've found a website that specialises in sort of XVs, and they make the stem that goes into the bottom triple tree that fits those triple trees, and it will fit into this head tube here. But it is £140, so I don't want to go ordering it until I've tried them on and I know if it's going to fit or not. So I'm not sure what more talking I'm going to do. Let's chuck it on a time lapse. Unfortunately, I'm going to start taking this little baby to pieces. I am sorry, Paul, I really am. But it's going to go on to live in other projects. So, chuck this camera up, let's get started. There we go then, that is the front end stripped off of the ZX10, and I have just put the front end from the XV on it just so I can move it around. Now, they are completely different. The bearings on the XV are a lot smaller in external diameter than the bearings that are on the ZX10, unfortunately. So, just looking at it, I know it's not going to work, but since we've got the bike sat up on this little podium, we've got the fork sat on the floor there. Let's see if we can mackle something together just to hold them on there so we can see what it's going to look like. Right, so we've not got the top triple tray on it, and we've not got any bearings in it, but it's on. It's in about the right position, and even just doing that completely transforms the look of the bike. So let's sit this tank up and see if it looks any better. Yeah, look at that. Completely transforms the look of it with just that front end and that tank sitting up a little bit better. It just looks so much better. Right now the bike is at a point I want to get it outside, get it cleaned off because it is absolutely filthy and every time I touch it I just end up filthy. So, chuck this camera on, we're going to degrease it, pressure wash it off. Right, bike's all clean, done, finished, looking much better. Hopefully we won't get as dirty working on it now. I've moved the ZX down here, which, check it out with that front end on. Not the best, is it? So yeah, that's there. I've been going through, sorting bits out and taking photos of things. So if anybody needs any ZX10 Gen 1 parts from 2004, hit me up. I've got all the bits for sale that I'm not going to be using. Right, I've just cleaned that bike and knelt down, started doing a couple of little bits, so taking a few bits off, and I got the and my knees are gone. I'm not working on the floor anymore. So what I've done is, been down to timber yard, bought some 4x2, bit of 18mm ply. I've just been at my brother's workshop because I can't find my chop saw, and cutting that on a table saw is a lot easier than cutting it with a plunge saw. So I've been up, cut some timber, cut this sheet. So let's screw this together and make a table to put that bike on, to work on, to save my knees. Turns out, that last little segment was a complete waste of time. Me wasting some money going and buying timber and wasting the time building that. So, that was yesterday. This morning, I got up, did my morning routine, had my little sit down, and flicking through Facebook Marketplace, something popped up that was only 10 miles away. Yeah, I couldn't help myself. Whoops. Yeah, I bought a bike lift. So it's a manual one, it's just foot operated pump. So it's a nice bit of kit, and now it means I'm not going to be messing around with engine cranes and lifting things up and on. We can wheel the bike on, pump the table up, and work away on the bike nice and safely. So yeah, this I've looked online, retails, I think it's 650, 700 quid. And I've just bought it. It's pretty much brand new. I think the bloke said he'd had it 6 months, put his bike on it, and never really did anything on the ramp. 350 quid, so yeah. Still money I shouldn't have spent, but I'm hoping we're going to claw a little bit back from those ZX parts, so that's my thinking. But it came up, right place, right time, and hopefully it's going to make my life a hell of a lot easier. So let's get the bike up and we'll have a chat through a couple of bits. So now I've obviously got the front end on. I mentioned earlier that it isn't on correctly, it doesn't fit per se. It's on for moving it around the workshop, mocking up, things of that nature. What I've done is I've ordered a new stem from Cognito Moto, who are in America. Now, that stem is designed to work with R1 sort of the 4XV, I think it is, the very first R1 triple tree. So obviously we've got ZX10 triple trees on this. So what I've ordered are these, which are Mark 1 or 4XV or whatever it is, R1 lower and upper triple trees. Now this is what they call, this is the spindle here, which is what goes through the head tube and basically holds it all on with all the bearings in, holds it on to the bike. So the reason I've done this is because, I'm not sure if you can really tell on camera, but the end of the stem on the ZX10 is a hell of a lot wider and thicker than the stem on the R1 triple tree. So just pressing the new stem into a ZX10 triple tree isn't going to work. So I have to buy new ones, which now will make it work. Now I checked online and found lower diameter, upper diameter, spacings and everything, and these are supposed to work. So that's my little job now. Support the bike, get this front end off again, try all the new bits on, put it all back on the bike, and then when the stem turns up, take it all off again, and then hopefully that'll be sort of final fit up for the build. So let's get this front end back off, get these new ones clamped on, check it works. There we go, new ones are on, so absolutely banging. These triple trees fit absolutely spot on, which I'm so happy about. We've got a bit of cleaning up to do and tidying up. I want to get rid of the seams, get rid of some of these brackets that we don't need, get rid of the ignition hole. But we've got a nice little Yamaha logo in there now as well. These are obviously not set, and this isn't on correctly. Looking at it, I might have got away with just putting new bearings on it and then mounting the top of this a little bit differently by threading the inside, because this top triple tree isn't really doing a lot other than keeping the forks space correctly and everything in the right place. The bolt, the fixings that go underneath this top triple are what hold all the forks into the frame. So I could have probably just tapped that and used a bolt in the top to hold it on. But we've ordered the Cognito motor part now. That will be here at some point next week. So we'll be replacing that stem. Just doing it properly. I want to make sure this bike is done properly. I've ordered so many parts for this. I've obviously ordered the stem for there. I've ordered the complete Moto Gadget electronic system, which is amazing. I've ordered the seat hoop, the brake light with the built-in indicators, rear sets. I've ordered, what else have we ordered? I've ordered the headlight and a headlight cup. I need to measure these and work out so I can order the clamps to hold the headlight on, which is the next thing I'm going to do when I've finished this. We're also going to be changing the carbs out. Now, next door to me, where I am, two guys in there that they do a lot to do with motorcycles, braking bikes, building bikes. They mainly specialise in two-stroke stuff, but they've had quite a lot to do with four-stroke stuff. They came in the other day when I first bought it and saw the bike and went, what the hell have you bought that for? Couldn't see the vision. And then I got him in here when I'd got these on the other day, got the tank set up, and apparently they've both left and now both gone looking for one of these bikes to build, which I think is pretty funny. So we got chatting to them and they said, look, them carbs are not the best. They're vacuum, they're an old-fashioned, and They really need servicing. They're never going to go back together properly. So he spoke to his supplier, and he got, apparently, I don't really know what they are, slimmer, more performance sort of carbs that will do away with a lot of this vacuum pipe work. So we'll clean the engine back a little bit. So yeah, we've ordered carbs as well. So we've placed a lot of orders. Now the Moto Gadget stuff, I've got a nice little dash going in there as well. But when that comes, I'll show you that because it's going to look amazing. Some little design bits we've been talking about on the back. Now this rear wheel isn't the nicest with this cutout in, and they just don't look the best. So again, the guys from next door, we all got talking and said, why don't we fill the back wheel in so it sort of emulates the front detail here. So you've got a step in and a bit that sticks out. So we said, right, let's fill them in. So what I'm thinking is we're going to cut some aluminium out and either get them welded in or weld them in, or we'll sort of, I don't know, arrow dart them in or something and then smooth them out. I'm not 100% sure. That's just a little bit of an idea. And then another idea that we had, we're looking at this side. This is obviously the swing arm, and it's all open, and it is cafe racer look because it's all open and whatever. But then we got talking, so why don't we fill it in like that? So it sort of is looking a bit like a sort of superbike-esque swing arm. So if you look at this one, on this ZX10, this is all boxed in and looking trick. And I think it might actually work. And I haven't, from my looking on the internet, which all I'm doing at the minute is looking at bikes, and mainly these, I haven't seen anyone do it yet. So I'm thinking we're going to get some sheet metal and we're going to make infills both sides of this rear swing arm to box it in a little bit. I've got my computer, I've got CAD on my computer, 2D CAD software, so we're going to be drawing new brackets here to get the pegs, to get the rear sets and everything sitting in the correct place, because these are just a little bit ugly. With putting the new carbs on, we're hopefully going to be able to run filters directly on the carbs as well, because this one, the airbox is here, and air comes in up through the frame, down through a hole here, and goes into the carbs there. So I'm hoping we can run them on there, and we'll be able to weld these holes up, tidy this frame up a little bit. So design-wise, really the first thing we need to do is get this tank set in the correct place and work on this seat hoop. Get the seat hoop all in, mounted and in the correct place. That will then give us where we sit in to be able to work out where we want the rear sets to go, to be able to then design these front plates, get all that front end mounted in properly with the bearings and working correctly. But this video is probably a lot of me waffling and not really doing a lot, which I can only apologise for. I didn't really know what to go ordering. I've ordered a lot of stuff now. I'm hoping it's all going to come at some point next week, and we're going to be able to make a start. We've already made a start. We've got tested the front end and done what we needed to do to find out how we were going to sort it out. But hopefully we can make a proper start on this project next week and start making some pieces which I am so excited about. So guys, I hope you're as excited about this bike project as I am. It's pretty much gone down as I expected it to. Mainly been received well. Obviously I've had some negative comments on it, which I knew I was going to get, so I'm not really going to let it affect me too much. We're building stuff that we want to build on the channel. And at the end of the day, all I want to do is build cool projects and hopefully entertain you guys along the way. So, we're not really done a lot in this one. I can only apologise for that. We've got a lot of parts coming next week, so hopefully we can really make a good start on it in the next episode. But until then, enjoy.